The following video is going to go through the last kind of redisclosure set that we're going to have a video on, which is loan amount increases. So when customer's appraisal comes back different, or when it's in processing, we have to change the loan amount. There's a process for going and redisclosing what fees change because that loan amount changed. So the video that we're going to go through is going to kind of walk you through that process. The first thing that's going to happen is when a loan is locked, which means the interest rate is locked in for that customer by our lock desk. The lock desk is the one that actually has to make the change to the loan amount because they need to update their lock as well. So what the lock desk is going to do is they're actually, and they should go into the 2010 GFE page down here at the bottom and check the change circumstance box, and it defaults to change in loan amount. So they should have that already selected by the time it gets to you, and then they should also have updated already what that loan amount change is going to be. So currently it's at 208, but let's just say they went in and changed that loan amount to 210,000. When they change that loan amount to 210,000, there's several fees that are going to change that are based on specifically what the loan amount is. So we need to redisclose and make those updates to those fees to make sure that the customer is aware of what those changes are. So in order to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the 2010 itemization page. And the main fee that you need to make sure that we're getting correct is right here, line 801, this total origination charge. The reason this adjusts is because this 0.75% is 0.75% of whatever the loan size is. So when the loan size goes up, so does that fee here, which increases the fee here. So that fee is now $3,052.88. So the first thing that we want to do is go to the 2010 GFE page, where it says change in loan amount. We're going to put a comment in this box and describe exactly what happened. So loan amount increased to $210,000. Origination fee increased to $3,052.88. So now we've got a comment in there that specifically describes in this box right here that what that loan amount increased to, as well as what the origination fee increased to. The other thing you want to make sure of is when you check that change circumstance box, this good faith estimate date should change to today's date, as well as this changes received date. So both of those should update to today's date. You just want to make sure that that's correct. That way the fees and everything match the good faith that we're sending out today, and the timeline is in place. So once you go back to the 2010 itemization, the amount here under origination charge for line 801 should now match the comment that we have in that box. And what you're going to be doing is you want to be looking to make sure that the fees that are listed in the borrower column here match the fees that are listed on the good faith estimate right here. If they're different, you want to make sure that this number matches whatever the number is that we have here. An example of that might be if somebody increase the amount of taxes that are being collected. As you can see right now, we have 10 months being collected, or $2,500. The processor might have gone in and changed that to say 1 year's worth of taxes, or $3,000. So when you selected the change circumstance box, $2,500 might be listed here. So when you go under this, you see 3,000. This is 2,500. You just want to change that number to match the $3,000. You want to make sure this column matches this column. If a number is deleted out of this column, you want to make sure it's deleted out of that column as well. So as we continue to scroll down, another fee that might change would be the title insurance. Right now the total title costs are $1,225, and that's based on the old loan amount. Well, let's say that this $950, because that loan amount changed, is now $1,000. We're going to go in and make that change. Either the number might be changed here and not here, where you need to go in and adjust that to $1,000, or they might actually send you the HUD with what those new title costs are going to be, and you just need to make sure that they match in both columns and make sure that information is updated. So the key is just making sure everything listed in this column matches what's listed in that column. Other changes that you would want to double check that I always recommend is going to the mortgage insurance page, making sure that if there's supposed to be a funding fee because it's a VA loan, that for some reason that hasn't been removed, or if it has been removed, making sure that in the e-folder that you have that documentation in the file to disclose it without those costs being in there. Same thing with mortgage insurance. If the loan amount increases, chances are the upfront mortgage insurance or the FHA mortgage insurance would increase. You want to make sure you're logging that as well, what those increases are going to be, so that all of that stuff lines up. So if this one increased to $1,050, I would maybe go back to this 2010 GFE and say VA funding fee increased to $1,050. If it was upfront mortgage insurance, the upfront mortgage insurance increased to whatever that dollar amount is. I just want to make sure I've got any type of documentation in the file for whatever these changes are. As you can see, the funding fee would have went up from $1,000 to $1,050 now that my loan amount is now $2,010 versus $208. So once I've got those corrections, I've double checked all of that. The next thing I need to do is actually prepare the disclosures. So I'm just going to hit eFolder like I normally would, hit eDisclosures like I normally do to do a redisclosure. But unlike the previous videos, when I hit Order eDisclosures, it doesn't pop up that menu saying that you're going to create an entire new doc set. Because it's a changed circumstance, because it's something that's actually just changing certain things on the file, I don't need to create an entire new document set. I'm just creating the changed circumstance documents, which are usually about 10 to 12 forms depending on the loan type. So once it opens it up, you can see there's about 10 forms listed there. The good faith is included, as well as the truth in lending, Reg Z initial disclosure, and I'm just going to preview those. And what I'm looking for is making sure that the fees that are updated are the correct fees that are updated and my dates match. So as I scroll down to, let's just say, the good faith estimate, I see up here at the top, I now have today's date, May 1st, listed, which is what I want. That comes from the date that changes to today's date on the good faith date on 2010 GFE when I hit the change circumstance box. Also, my origination fee matches the $3,052.88 that I made the comment for. You can see here my mortgage insurance premium, my VA funding fee, is now that $1,050, which I have commented on there. And I've got my updated title costs listed as well. So as I scroll down then to the very bottom, when I get to the truth in lending, I just want to make sure the date at the top of the truth in lending matches today's date, which matches the good faith estimate. I just need to make sure that these redisclosures are time stamped for today. So once I'm comfortable with all that, I'm just going to do print selected documents like I normally would. And you have the option to either print them or kind of like what I typically do is print them to a PDF so I can save them as a separate file and just hit print. It's then going to generate that document set. It's going to print that document set out, save it as a PDF. And what that's going to allow me to do then is be able to email them to the borrower, print them, whatever it may be. Once I do hit close here, now that I'm done printing, it's going to open up the eFolder. There's nothing I really need to do in the eFolder here. It's just the default of what opens up. I just hit close. And as you can see now, I've got on my disclosure tracking, as of May 1st, 9 disclosures created, a good faith and a TIL were both created, and I do want to make sure that's included in the timeline. What I want to do then is just double click and open up this menu. And you'll see on here change circumstance, change in loan amount increased. Let me spell that correctly. Increased to $210,000. Origination fee increased to $3,052.88. VA funding fee increased to $1,050. And I'll say title insurance increased to $1,200 and I think it was $75 or whatever that exact dollar amount was that increased to. So I've got all of those comments in there. And what I usually recommend is actually just copying this comment. So highlight it all and hit copy. I also want to switch this where it says U.S. Mail. As you can see, it's May 4th with U.S. Mail. I want to switch that to fax, which is going to switch that to May 1st because I'm going to send them to the customer today, and hit close. And then I'm just going to put my log comment in there. So I'm going to hit the log, hit the plus sign, add a conversation log, and hit OK. And then I'll just label it a changed circumstance. And then in the body, I'm just going to right-click and paste that entire same comment. So it's repeated right there as well. I've got it listed in a couple different spots. So now I've got it all listed there. The alert for needing to redisclose is gone. So I'm just going to complete my compliance review to make sure that I'm still within compliance. On this one, I'm still going to get the warning that I have an invalid Social Security number, but all the truth in lending, the till warnings, anything like that that might have been on there previously are now going to be gone, and the only thing that's going to be left is going to be right here, the Social Security number warning. So at this point, I've got my disclosures. I'm ready to send them to the borrower and get them updated. They're all based on the changed circumstance date, so we should be set. If you have any questions about this, please let either myself know or Brandon Lee, and hopefully this allows you to be able to kind of help get those loan amount increases completed, and we can be a little bit more efficient in the processing side of things to get this stuff done a little bit quicker and spread the workload out a little bit. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great rest of the day.